Hey guys, it's Jason from Gardening with Jason. Thought I'd hop outside with you real quick and give you a very quick rundown of a backyard garden tour. I'm going to call this my March garden tour. It is April the 1st, technically, but I didn't get a chance to get out here and do a garden tour in March, so I figured it's close enough to March, still be a March garden tour. So um, stay tuned and take a walk around the garden with me. Okay, guys, so I'm going to start out over here on the shade garden side of my house, um, where I have three autumn brilliant service berries planted. Um, Two of those are on standard, which I purchased from Lowe's last year. And then I have one multi trunk formed service berry that I purchased from a local grower in our area, Brown and Sons Nursery. Over here, I have I believe that's a native Oakley hydrangea from Florida that my mother-in-law, or that my mom brought with her up here when she was visiting and gave to me. It's starting to leaf out a little bit. It's very small at this point. So, like I said, I have the three service berries that are larger there. I also have a shadblow service berry planted right over here on this side. It's very tiny. It's just a little seedling right now. Um, I got that through a program our energy company was doing with the Arbor Day Foundation. They sent me two of them, free of charge, not even no shipping even. Um, but they sent me two of those. I've only got one left. The other one succumbed to its rabbit damage, which is why I've got cages around, little fences around multiple things in the backyard. Um, Also have that one there is a major wheeler honeysuckle climbing up the pergola there. I have multiple hostas, multiple coral bells. They're all still really too small to really show off in video at this point. Um, so I'm just going to hit some of the highlights of the garden right now that are actually starting to come up as decent size. This is a Jack Frost Brunnera. I've got several of those dotted throughout the landscape. I've got some columbine coming up. I believe that's just the native columbine. My Aphrodite sweet shrub, still not really doing much of anything yet. It hasn't started budding out or anything like that yet. Got a lot of weeds in this bed, a lot of dandelions. I really need to go through and start clearing out best I can. Um, there's just a lot in there. Even using the cardboard method, they've all kind of started poking back up. It's a dwarf Burfordii holly. I got that on clearance at Kroger once a couple seasons ago for $5. Hasn't really done much. I'm not impressed with it. Thinking about taking it out, putting something different there one of these days. Um, if once I find something, I'll probably end up taking it out. Uh, the dappled willow, I got on clearance for $5 from Home Depot. Well, closer to $8. It's leafed out pretty well. This back here is my propagation area. I've got some squirrel damage back in there, where squirrel and chipmunk, where they've dumped over some couple buckets. Mostly some arborvitae, green giants, a couple junipers in there, forsythia that I've currently trying to propagate. We got some cone flowers coming up back in this area. I got some bleeding hearts coming up. This is the autumn brilliant serviceberry in bloom, which is, or it's budding out, getting ready to bloom. Very excited for that. Now I decided to plant serviceberry for their bird attracting benefits, because I do love to do my photography and take photos of birds in my garden. So I planted the serviceberry in hopes to get some cedar waxwings, Baltimore Orioles, things like that, some different type of birds to my garden. That is a Brandywine viburnum back there. It's leafing out. Little Devil Ninebark. Gatsby Moon, oak leaf hydrangea starting to leaf out. Lemony lace elderberry, not looking too great, but I bought that as a quart container, so I'm not expecting too much from it right now. That's a Winecraft Black Smoke Bush that I bought as a quart container, so again, I'm not expecting too much from it as well. The Mount Airy Father Gilla looks like it may have survived, and the buds on it are starting to swell and get a little bit bigger, so I'm hoping to have some flowers on it this spring. None of my Encore azaleas that I bought on clearance at the end of the season last year have done good at all. I believe that one back there is Autumn Twist, and it's still got some leaves on it, but it's got a lot of dead on it as well. The Autumn Royalty succumbed to my dog. My dog destroyed it. And then my two Autumn Embers out front, they are pretty much completely dead. The limbs just snap on them as soon as you touch them, it seems like. So I'm not impressed with the Encore azaleas, at least planting them at the end of the season here. I know the Autumn Embers said zone 6 through 10, and we are at zone 6, but I'm just wondering if we're on that border where if you plant them late in the season, they're just not going to do very good for us. This is my spice bush. I've got another one on the opposite end, but it's starting to leaf out. They're still too young to tell if they're male or female. I'm hoping I have one of each, but I don't know. At this point, I just don't know yet. I've got some irises here. Again, more hostas, heucheras, brunneras in this bed. That is a snowball viburnum. Or not a snowball, that's a popcorn viburnum. I'm sorry. This one here is a Burkwoodii viburnum, which really took a big hit from the dog, but it does have a little bit of growth right there. It's hard to come up on camera, but I don't know if that little bit of growth is going to do anything. My little Eastern Snowball Viburnum, that was a ground layering propagation from my mother-in-law's house. It's doing very well, coming back out nicely. It's very small. This is where I've got my honeyberry bushes. I've got 3 of them. I've got Indigo Gem as my female bushes, and I use Check 17 as my male. Only one of them currently has flowers, though. You can see that right there in the video. Hard to get a good focus. I got a couple blackberry bushes there that are starting to leaf back out. We got the Weekend Forsythia, some um, variegated Lysimachia there. That's the yellow colored plant you see coming up. It's got some nice little red tips to it. I also have a few of these Boom Chocolata geraniums that I bought on clearance at the end of last year. And I was afraid to put them in the ground because it was so late in the season that so I decided just overwinter them in my basement this year, and I went ahead and put them out now. If we do get I put them out now because some of my mother-in-law's geranium, she has Roseanne geranium, they're already coming out of the ground, so I figured they should be able to tolerate any kind of small freezes we have from this point on. Um, Another Autumn Brilliant Serviceberry that I have vision to grow up here a little bit taller, and then have the Weekend Forsythia kind of intertwine itself amongst its trunk. So I thought when the Forsythia blooms were almost done or at their end of their life, that the serviceberry blooms would start. Maybe they would overlap a little bit. And the backyard is definitely a big working progress right now. The whole yard is really. I mean, when you have a love for gardening, it's always a working progress. I have a couple neon flash spireas there, and then my Amethyst Falls wisteria. That is a native wisteria. I believe it's a cultivar of the Kentucky wisteria. Got lots of things starting to come up back in here. The Maltese Cross are definitely putting on some good growth. The looks like Leatris might be starting to green up and come up again. Um, got some Shasta Daisy coming up. Got some greater coneflower, Rudbeckia maxima coming up. Some compass plant, as well as a bunch of coneflower. Um, there's something else coming up back in. The Jacob Klein Monarda is starting to break ground, but up back in there. I don't want to go walking through there because we've had a lot of rain last night. We got more rain coming today, so I don't want to go smashing the soil too much, compacting it. This is a strawberry vanilla hydrangea starting to leaf out as well. So the past couple of weeks, we've been having some issues with our sink drain in the basement. So we've been doing a lot of exploring of drains in the house and determining what to do, but I think we've come down to deciding to line the sink drain. It's going to be about a $10,000 job that we didn't really want to pay for or didn't really expect. So in that process, I decided to go try hunting for my main sewer, where the main sewer line runs, because they didn't mark it when I called 811, which I guess is a private line, so they don't really mark those. But I had a couple Mugo pines planted over where I thought it was going to the street anyway, and my flamethrower redbud where I thought it was going to the street, planted almost directly over top of that sewer line. So if anything ever happened and they had to dig to replace the sewer line, I didn't want to have to do a tree removal, shrub removal on top of that as well. So I went ahead and moved them while they were young. So I got a couple. It adds a little bit more evergreen interest back here, I guess. I got a couple dwarf Mugo pines now back here. I moved my one of my cypress, lemon thread false cypresses back here as well. And then there's my flamethrower redbud. I'm waiting for it to leaf out in all its glory. I'm pretty excited about that. Then I've got my raspberry spear crabapple back there in the back, next to an emerald green arborvitae. That bright yellow bush in the background kind of favors a forsythia, but that's just its leaves leafing out. That is a lemon candied 9-bark, bright yellow. I really love that shrub. Let me see if I can get a closer view of it for you. Next to that, with the white on top of it, that is a standing ovation serviceberry. And then a few American pillar arborvitaes next to that. Try and give some more privacy. Got a couple sea green junipers in there. There's a blue point juniper, a moon glow juniper, with a couple blackberry bushes in there behind those for now until they start getting bigger and taking over that spot. My Hollywood juniper, and a couple more American pillar arborvitaes and standing ovation serviceberries back there along the fence. And then my forever gold arborvitae. And I got a blue chiffon Rosa Sharon there, a black lace elderberry almost directly behind it, back in there. Couple dappled willows right in here. A wine and roses weigela right there. Behind that is a pinky winky hydrangea. Right back in there is a Diablo 9-bark. And then all interplanted in there is going to be a bunch of perennials. I tossed a bunch of my extra seed from my seed starting projects in there just to see if any of it will come up. Direct sowing. This little small patch of green is a pink diamonds dicentra, bleeding heart from Proven Winners. Over on this side, I have a sugar tip hibiscus, sugar tip pink hibiscus, Rosa Sharon. I believe that is a flaming mound spirea. I don't remember for sure. I know I have flaming mound, I have gold flame, I have gold mound. So I have several spireas in my collection right now. Miss Kim lilac, looking all green there. Some lavenders, some Rebeckias planted in here, some coneflowers, some strawberries. As a ground cover. Started digging a bigger hole. I'm going to be working on that probably throughout the spring and summer. Trying to dig me a bigger pond. I want to go about 3 foot deep, as my current pond is just a little preformed pond. It's only 18 inches deep. So I'm hoping to get that completed and dug out by the end of summer, into fall, and then maybe next spring I can work on getting a new liner for it, and putting down a liner and having a bigger fish pond. My daughter really loves the pit fish pond, and I do too. I really enjoy watching. They've gotten the little feeder fish that we've got in that little pond have gotten big, pretty big already, just in 1 year's growth. This border here is lined with blueberries, along with the back border back in there, and then my Harry Lauder's walking stick as well. Excuse the kids' mess. We've been out here all week during the nicer days playing around. I have a Scentlandia Sweet Spire right there. I can't remember which perennial this was. This was another one that I got on clearance. I believe it's either a White Wands Veronica or it's a Pink Potion. I believe it's Pink Potion Speedwell. Maybe I got both of those on clearance, but I can't remember which one that one is. That's a little Quickfire Hydrangea. A wide angle view up here again. So once these evergreens start growing and filling in the space, it should feel a little bit more private back here once they start getting taller and above the fence line. Um, Hold on, I'm gonna flip the camera around here so I'm not getting my uh, there we go. Now I don't have my gimbal head in the picture. My little fire pit I found on the side of the road, somebody was throwing away. Fire pit turned bird bath. A little turtle I found, a roadside trash pickup. We got a bunch of perennials in here coming up. Some hairy mountain mint, some daylilies, some Maltese cross, some penstemon, coneflowers, Rebeckias, candy tuft, Angelina sedum, all kinds of stuff in there. A bunch of seed thrown out as well in that area. And take a look at this Temple of Bloom sunflower, 7 sunflower. It's leafed out, it's looking great. I cannot wait to see this thing in its prime and start flowering, and then see the red bracts that it gets in the fall, and then that beautiful bark it'll have in the winter. I'm just so ready for that to mature and get big and be a nice little specimen for the garden, little prop for the birds to land on for my photography. I've got it underplanted with some daylilies, some um, that's a sugar shack buttonbush, and a cloudberry, coralberry right there starting to leaf out as well. And that's one of the leading lady bee balms right there, I believe. I got one of them on clearance at the end of the season last year. I believe it's leading lady lilac, maybe, or leading lady lavender. I can't remember which one it is. Got my black cat pussy willow, another standing ovation serviceberry back in there, a Spartan juniper, back in there behind the bird bath is a white pillar Rose of Sharon, which I got a purple pillar also on the other end, next to the emerald green down there. I forgot to point out. That's an opening day by Burnham. Bunch of strawberries. I'm hoping to grow as a ground cover throughout here with some hairy mountain mint back there, hoping to keep the pests away from the strawberries. These here, I believe, are my little gold flame spireas. I got those for $250 last year on clearance from Home Depot. We do have a big problem with this Canadian invasive thistle in the backyard as well. I mean, it's all over the place. It's all over the backyard, all over the front yard. I just don't know what to do with it. I don't want to spray a whole bunch, so I guess I'm just going to keep trying to pull it this year, and eventually, hopefully, it'll succumb to me pulling it all the time. So that is basically the tour of the backyard. These are a few pots that I had overwintering in the garage from propagations I've done. A couple, there's a few figs there. Only one of them's leafing out. I think that's the only one that's taken already. And then this is a crepe myrtle that I got from my mom's house last time I was in Florida, and it's I was able to root it last season and potted it up in this big tree pot, and it's coming back out. So it's got some new growth on it. So it's taken, it's done well in the garage. I decided to set it out back against the house in a more protected space. So we'll see how it does. Zone 6 here in Ohio, we technically can't grow these big tree crepe myrtles that they have in Florida, but I'm going to give it a try in a pot and see how it goes. And overwinter in my garage as much as I can. Maybe after a few years of it growing and maturing here, maybe it'll eventually survive the winters outside. Who knows? Well, that does it. That's going to wrap up my backyard garden tour. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you are having a good spring so far and you're having good luck with your gardens. So just we're supposed to get some storms next couple days. So if you're in the Ohio area, just stay safe and be on the lookout for any kind of bad weather we might be having. So again, thanks for watching. This is Jason from Gardening with Jason, and I appreciate any likes, follows that any of you guys for liking and following the channel.